Let's discuss this, whatever you thought about it, I'm sure you thought it was fascinating, this interview that Vladimir Putin has given to Tucker Carlson. It dropped overnight, all 2 hours of it, and we are joined by Ukrainian Member of Parliament, Andrii Osadchuk. Really good to have your company this morning. I'm assuming, Andrii, that you watched this interview. What is your immediate reaction to it?
Good morning. I had to, because it's part of my job. I need to know my enemy. And my reaction shortly is very simple. Putin desperately wants to return to Western screens, to Western media. In fact, he received this result. But if you put away all the paranoid lies and things which in reality difficult to analyze, especially his thoughts on history and things like that. But the bottom line for me that Russia is suffering a lot. Russia is suffering from huge losses, and they need a break. It was understood in May 2022 that they need a break, but they use different strategies how to finish the war under their original plan. But all the attempts of Kremlin failed. They cannot succeed in Ukraine at all. Last winter, missile attack against Ukrainian energy sector give them zero result.
Sorry to interrupt you. It's just we've got plenty of questions to ask you and not enough time. What I just want to get your thoughts on how concerned are you about Putin being given a platform like this for such a long period of time? Many people are saying he went unchallenged. He was not asked enough questions. He was not asked about alleged war crimes in Ukraine, for example. How worried are you about the effect this will have on the impact it will have on the people of America, where you're already struggling to get the weapons, aren't you, from the United States?
Yeah, definitely. Carlson was simultaneously the ambassador from Donald Trump. And for sure, one of the audience for this interview was the supporters of Donald Trump and far-right Republicans. And definitely it will help them to believe that stopping support to Ukraine, that's exactly what is needed. But from another hand, I think all European leaders, all responsible American leaders understood after this interview that it is impossible to have any dialogue with this individual, just impossible. And I think that's another fundamental conclusion from this epic talk.
Andrii, how is this going to go down in Ukraine? Because this is a very challenging time in this conflict. PIP has already reflected the lack of funding, or at least delay in funding, especially from the US. And we heard at the start of that interview last night, didn't we, Putin reiterating again his thought that Ukraine isn't a real country. And we've heard that rhetoric before. We heard that a lot, didn't we, at the start of this conflict. But 2 years in, almost, how is this going down with the people of Ukraine and in President Zelensky, who has just sacked the commander-in-chief of Ukraine's army, hasn't he?
True. But again, I would ask you not to try to make any deep dives into historical thoughts of Putin. That's all nonsense, which has nothing to do with reality. The guy justified the Hitler attack on Poland in his interview to Carter. And other absolutely ridiculous things has been said. So that's why let's focus on another thing. Yes, for Ukraine, the time is difficult and challenging. But I think for today, everyone, mostly in Europe, understand that in worst case scenario, it's not Ukraine who may lose this war. It's European Union and the free world will lose this war. We went too far in all this confrontation, and originally it was started by Putin as attack against NATO. And that's exactly what he's saying, that he did not start this war. That was his words. So for us, there is no other option rather than fight, because Putin again and again say that he wants to wipe out Ukraine from the geographical map and political map of the world. So we will continue fight. We believe that Europeans will continue to provide huge support to us. UK is doing a great job in supporting Ukraine. You know that the treaty was signed on safety and security guarantees for Ukraine. So we are doing quite good. Not the best as we expect to, but quite good. And still we believe that political fight in US will not result in the collapse of reputation of Washington in the global map. We expect that in a couple of weeks or months.
Andrii, very quickly, because we need to go, do you think there is any chance that President Zelensky will now be tempted to do a sit-down chat with Tucker Carlson and reply to what Putin said in that 2-hour interview?
We all need to understand that in Kremlin vocabulary, word negotiation means word surrender. That's the only thing what Putin wants. He wants capitulation of Ukraine and the West. That's why I don't think that neither Ukraine nor West is ready for capitulation.
OK. Ukrainian Member of Parliament Andrii Osadchuk, really appreciate your time and your thoughts this morning. Thank you so much.